just take it one day at a time. Just be the best person you can be today.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Conversational Lounge with Trudy, where we mentor, connect, and inspire others through real life stories. And if you haven't already, push that subscribe button so you can join one of the most inspirational networks in town. Before we delve into your career life, what's your inspiration, or your biggest inspiration in life?
Well, I'm really inspired by a lot of women who have come ahead of me. Especially my mother. She had us, me and 6 other siblings that I have, and she had me when she was 25. She was still working. She had just started working as a civil servant in Ghana, and at the same time she was having all these kids, and she was also taking care of the household. So it was really the quintessential sort of mother figure that I grew up with, where she was running her career, but also running her personal life, her family life, and running the household in that way. So I should mention another thing that my mom really inspired me is like just even being a role model outside of your own home. Like there's so many people that I saw my mom mentor when I was growing up. So that really inspired me to feel like think outside the box of who you can reach just with who you are as a person and how you comport yourself and treat others as well.
Just another thing too, and I notice a lot of women, mostly a lot of immigrants, when it comes to salary in that area, we tend not to negotiate. You know, you're offered a position, you're offered a salary, you accept it with gracious arms because, oh my goodness, I would not be making this in the first place. So what would you tell, such a person, and about, from experience, when we talk about salary negotiation?
You know what? That's a really good question, because I feel like I've actually been guilty of that myself in the past. So usually when I've given advice to people, it's for example, my younger sister, when she got her recent promotion, I definitely told her, no, you need to go back and ask for more. I kind of wish sometimes that someone had told me that. So that's why I'm doing it for her. But I think that that's something that we need to really encourage our women. Like, hey, you can ask for more. If they say no, it's okay. But you can still ask for more. At least let it be known that you tried. So that's something, that's the advice that I would give for anybody. Like, try it. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. If you feel like you are worth more than this, then find something else. Do what is right for you. If you also feel like the offer is actually decent enough for where you see yourself, that's also acceptable. The good thing is that some companies are actually trying to do well and give you a decent offer to begin with. But if you feel like, if you look at maybe say Glassdoor or something like that, and you feel like, no, there's no way they should be giving me this, it should be more, go for it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I just recently learned, and I'm guilty as well too, like you, again, because of our humble upbringing. I recently learned that one of the things when it comes to salary negotiations is in most times people will apply for a position, and let's say it's a higher paying position than what you're being paid at the moment. So when it comes to that time where you're negotiating your salary, people have this thing, it's called anchoring. You're anchoring your value of that role, or your value that you're going to be bringing to that table to what you are already making. So when you look at that, you're already thinking, oh, this is already more than I was making, and you're already valuing your previous role and your previous position to that new one. So what the challenge was, start looking at that as its own individual opportunity. It's on, just look at it as what value will I be bringing, and then base your value to that position and the pay. Yeah,
that's actually a really good advice to give someone, for sure. It's hard not to anchor, because you're looking at your bank account and you're saying, this is how much my bank account is going to grow by. It's very tempting. But yeah, you're right. You definitely should be looking at what are people making in that role. Don't think about what you have made previously, but what are people making in that role. And are you being paid the right amount? Are you being undervalued? And then put your offer in and see it. Well, I say put your counter offer in. To see if they will respect that, or maybe they'll decline.
Yeah, I like it. So to pivot outside of work, so we're geared, we work most of our days. So what do you like to do to unwind, or just as a hobby outside of work?
Oh, okay. Well, as a hobby, I really like soccer. I like to, as immigrants would say, football. I like to watch some football, also play some football. I like to spend time with my son and my husband. But then I also like working with organizations outside of just work or even my family. So I work with OneVoice Des Moines, for example. We are, I'll say, an African immigrant young adult group. And what we're trying to do is just network with each other and help uplift each other in any way that we can, really. And then I also work closely with my church to help with recent refugees who've come into the country, help them assimilate into the country. And I actually don't want to use that word assimilate. It's more like help them settle and be comfortable and feel accepted into the society that we're in.
Wow. So Maame, what's the biggest or the best piece of advice ever given to you?
Oh, wow. Okay. Someone once told me, if you're going to do something, do it well. And I really appreciated that because it was just simple. It was kind of like, be in the moment. When you're doing things, do it in the moment. When you're hanging out with people, be in the moment. When you're working, be in the moment. Like, just focus on what you're doing now and be effective at it, whatever it is. If you're enjoying a movie, be in the moment. But if you're doing something, do it well. So not half-heartedly. And I really feel like this has helped me, especially like in my career, because when I work at something, my bosses or my managers know, like, okay, she's tried her best with this. And also it usually leads to success because I'm able to execute on the job that has been given to me because I put effort into it. It's also helped me even in my own personal relationships because it allows me to be in the moment when I am with people, whether it's my loved ones, whether it's even just friends. But being in the moment, they feel that you hear them. They feel that you're in there with them and you're actually experiencing that moment with them. And that brings about authenticity in a relationship. So if you're doing something, do it well.
I like it. And I like you spin on it, because if you're doing something, do it well. You can take that as, give it your best, but you took it to be present in the moment and truly focus on whatever it is, even if it's, family life, personal life, career, professional life. That is a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
And then just a little tough question. So what keeps you going? Do you ever set maybe short-term goals to keep you looking forward to the next day? Or how do you then transition from focusing on today to looking a little bit ahead?
Yeah, I definitely set short-term goals because I would say, actually, I want to call them like projects.
Okay.
That's a better way of putting it. Like, I just try and focus on like, okay, this is the project that I'm trying to accomplish in like the coming weeks or something like that. And getting that project done. And that will be my focus for like that amount of time. It's just focusing on all these mini projects that I'm doing or working with people to do. And then that's kind of the focus that I try and give instead of 5 years or 10 years. Because I feel like 5 years or 10 years, you're really looking at making a lot of...
lifetime.
Yeah, it's a lifetime. You're really trying to make a lot of assumptions about what's going to happen in the world in that time.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you today and having you on our show, Maame. I have learned a lot. I appreciate your point of view and just your experience and being open to share that with the world. So as a parting shot, what would you like to let your audience know?
Well, to begin with, I want to thank you for interviewing me, asking me questions, or I guess having a conversation with me. I appreciate that. I don't think I'm really special, but I mean, you're making me feel special today.
You are special.
And I appreciate the fact that you're giving a voice to young adult Africans in Des Moines. So thank you so much for doing that. And for all the young adult Africans and even older adult Africans in Des Moines, in Iowa, please join OneVoice, DSM, so we can grow our network, so we can learn more from each other, so that we can be the better person that we want to do every single day. We want to be every single day. So if you want to join OneVoice, please feel free to email onevoicedsm@gmail.com. So that's ONEVOICEDSM@gmail.com.
And then, so for someone who's watching, and it could be any part of your story or something you haven't shared today, and they're truly inspired by you, what kind of message or advice would you leave for such a person?
Just take it one day at a time. Just be the best person you can be today.
Wow. Thank you so much. And everyone at home, thank you so much for staying with us. If any part of this message or any of our videos or content speaks to you or speaks to someone else that you know in your networks, please go ahead and share, because our goal is truly to inspire someone else using someone else's real life story. So if this speaks to you, you can find us anywhere. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you still waiting for? So thank you so much and have a wonderful day. If you haven't already, please push that subscribe button so you can be a part of the most inspirational network in town.